You see, on Friday, they took him and they stretched him high and stretched him wide. And all day Saturday, there was no activity. They thought Jesus really had died. Oh, but this Sunday morning, hey, there came a shaking, there came a rocking and a rolling. There was somebody that was guarding the beginning of the God. They were standing there yesterday. They wouldn't let anybody come to the grave. But I had something going on the inside. You see, I heard that the Lord went to hell and preached the revival. And then he said, everybody that wants to come with me, I'm going out of here with all power in my hands. When Sunday comes, I shout my troubles over. Shout my troubles over. When Sunday comes, I will see when Sunday comes, nobody save me. I'm gonna praise Him. I'll be delivered. I'll be healed. I'll have joy. I'll have peace. Sunday. be facing some Friday nights in your situation. Maybe even Saturday.
Oh, we gonna have church anyhow. Hallelujah. Ain't no harm to moan sometimes. Thank you, Jesus. All night, oh Lord, I wouldn't give up. All night, thank you, Lord, I wouldn't let go. Yeah, all night, I held on, Lord. I just held on. I called on the Lord all night long, and I wouldn't let go until it blessed my soul. I'm a witness. Oh, great God Almighty, that He came through. Can I say it one more time? All night, thank you, Lord. I wouldn't give up. All night, I just wouldn't let go. I wouldn't let go. One night, I just held on. I called on the Lord all night long, and I wouldn't let go until He blessed my soul. I'm a witness. Thank you, Jesus, that He came through. Let me tell you this. Terrestrial the angel all night long. He wouldn't let go till the break of dawn. He said, you gotta bless me before you leave. I felt the same way when I was on my knees. I asked the Lord to help me to be strong. I called Him all night long. All night. I don't know about you, but I called on Him. One night, Lord Jesus. Woo, thank you, Lord. Yes, all night. Good Lord. I called on the Lord all night long, and I wouldn't let go until He blessed my soul. I'm a witness. Great God Almighty, that He came through. Anybody ever called on Jesus? I call on Jesus. I wouldn't let Him go till they blessed me. I fell down on my knees. I said, Master, help me, please. In the morning, in the evening. Great God Almighty.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon. Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Right.
Ask Elaine, where to ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, where to ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, where to ask Elaine.
Oh, welcome, welcome. Good afternoon. It's a wet Wednesday outside, but we're happy, so happy to have you there. This is your voice, Commissioner and Water Board member Elaine Lucas, welcoming you to the show. Whether you've joined us on AM, FM, or here on the Glory Live, we are just so happy to have you there. We want to welcome those folks who've joined us already. These folks are Johnny on the spot. They're with us before we even go on the air. Randy Crawford is with us. Thank you so much for being with us every week. And we had, Cheryl Finney is with us. I think she says good morning. I think that was a holdover from drive time this morning, but we like the comments anyway. If you would like to call us today, please do. If you would like to add something that for us to read in the chat, we are just more than happy to see those comments. We're just happy to see you there. And if you will do like and share to remind folks that we are on the air once again. And this is the place. This is Ask Elaine. We've been on the air about 10 years now with this talk and information program. And we hope that over that time, you've built some confidence in our ability to bring you the news, bring you some interesting things that are going on, to let you know what's happening in your community. And we're going to continue doing that. And we want to express our condolences to the families of those who've lost loved ones. I'm going to go ahead and introduce my special guest so that he can share in the what we're going to be sharing with you. Our special guest this week is none other than longtime community advocate, elected official, uh, good old friend, information source, none other than Herbert Denard.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much, Herbert, for taking time. We know that you have some things going on, and but you fit us in, so we appreciate. Tell us how your son is doing. We know that you've had some health challenges your son has. So
My son is doing better. As you know, things happen. He had some issues going on. He's
yeah,
been in the hospital.
yeah,
Been operated on twice, and he's still hanging in there. You can take care of yourself and do all these things, but sometimes things just happen.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so I appreciate everybody that's been praying for him, and I continue
yeah.
to pray for him, and I think he'll be better.
That's good.
Gotta
That's good.
believe.
That attitude means an awful lot.
Right.
Your spirit and how you perceive things and how you walk through things
You know,
makes a
none of us
difference.
gonna be here forever.
Yeah,
And everything that I'm not trying to sound morbid or anything, but everything that lives dies.
mm,
It's just a question of when it would take place. Uh, you know, I went to a funeral the other day at my church,
yeah. Maddie Dawson.
Maddie Dawson. It
Um,
was a turnout for her
yeah,
daughter.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
been a long time. She was the first woman superintendent of Sunday school.
yeah. My spirit was there.
Yeah.
Well wishes to the family. I've known her and her family a long time.
Hmm.
Um, and so our condolences go out to the Dawson family. Also, the other families who've lost loved ones. We understand that Cotton passed away.
Who's
Um,
that? Who?
she just several days ago. She was a radio personality. My late mother loved her to
Sister
death.
Chuck.
Loved her. And so we surely will miss her. We also want to express our condolences to the Mitchum family.
Yes,
Miss
she's
Annie Mae Mitchum,
what a wonderful woman.
who is almost 100
Uh-huh.
and who was everybody's mama and was everybody's cheerleader wherever she went.
Very
She
positive.
was up and she let you know how she felt about stuff. And so we want to express our condolences. We're going to acknowledge those who joined us. Shirley Lester, um, yeah, and oh, okay. She says hello to you, and she's glad that you're doing better. And she says, hold on.
Hold on.
Shakita Maxwell is with us. Good afternoon. Black Voters Matter Day at the Capitol is February 25th. And so we're certainly going to try to make that because Black voters do matter, whether we realize it or not. Herbert, I wonder sometimes whether we Black folks realize that our votes matter. I just don't know.
We got to hang in there,
Yeah.
do together, and don't give up the fight.
Yeah, but we got to do more than talk and fuss and stuff.
That's right.
Oh, look at this. Randy Crawford was selected to go into the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame, and that's going to be in May. And the induction ceremony is held here in Macon because Macon is the location of the Sports Hall of Fame. And Senator Lucas has worked so hard to try and get money from the state, but the state doesn't want any of the halls of fame here in Macon. They took the Music Hall of Fame and they have tried real, real hard with the Georgia sports, but they've been just hobbling along on a wing and a prayer. But congratulations to Randy Crawford, who was
Yes.
selected to go into the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame in May. Brenda Clyott is already in the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. Uh, uh, Coach Copeland should be. And I do believe that the next go round, he will be in the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. But the problem is, you got a lot of Georgia and Georgia Tech folks who are on the board, the selection board of the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. So they've got to start launching out and getting some other folks that are wonderful athletes and contributors and sportscasters and fans and heads of booster clubs and all of that. All of these different schools have outstanding people who need to go into the Sports Hall of Fame. One other one who is in there is our late son, Al, who's under the Legends category. And they instituted that a few years ago to recognize those who were no longer here, those who were deceased. And so Al was selected like 3 or 4 years ago to go in the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. These same folks are already in the Macon Sports Hall of Fame. There are a lot of Maconites, and we need to get somebody to come on here and talk about the who's in the Macon Sports Hall of Fame and how we can support that and how we can support the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame as well. Shirley Lester is with us, Randy Crawford, and we just want to welcome everybody. Shakita Maxwell says HBCUs should be on these boards, and you're absolutely right. That's exactly what I was saying, that there are a large number of very talented folks. But who's the athlete that you've said needed to be in the National Hall, the Hall of Fame? Was it Jim Brown?
Wasn't on there now. I think he's in now because
Is he?
but they didn't have Jim Brown in. They didn't have Sugar Ray Robertson in. Some of the greatest fighters and boxers and sports people. They didn't have none of those people. They didn't have Jackie Robinson in for a long time.
But see, all that has to do with who is on that selection committee. And if you don't have a variety of people, that DEI, diversity, what? Equity and inclusion. If you don't have that on these boards and authorities, and that's nationally, on the state level, or locally, then you don't get DEI in the selections.
But you could take, you know, Larry Holmes is not in the Sports Hall of Fame. He was heavyweight champion for a long time. They just left out a number of black people. Can you believe, in my opinion, and I probably have somebody disagree with me, Jim Brown was probably the greatest football player, greatest running back ever was. He was from right around St. Simon Islands.
Uh-huh.
He left here, and they said he left before he didn't play high school sports in Georgia.
So you
So
can
they
always
found all
come up
kind of some
with an
particular things.
excuse.
Yeah, but Jim
Come,
Brown was the man. Then he
yeah.
come with Randy Crawford. A lot of people are not on there, but his brother, he had an older brother. She actually played basketball with him.
Uh-huh.
He used to kill me so bad. I just when I went on to the court behind Hunt School, and I saw he was out there. I just left.
Eh, Randy Crawford says Coach Wiggins is in. Is that the Macon or is that the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame? And Eric Manuel is in. Post in the chat whether that's the Macon Sports Hall of Fame or the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. I do have a program from that lists all of the previous inductees, and I wish that I had it with me. But HBCUs, the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame, and certainly I'm not taking anything away from anybody else who's in. I know that they're worthy of being in, but Coach Copeland.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Coach Copeland is one of the winningest coaches in, I think, probably all of America. So I think all of you would agree that Coach Copeland, anyway, we'll look for next year when that we certainly hope that that will happen. We've expressed our condolences. We always want to say a big salute to those who have happy things going on, marriages, graduations, some cases divorces.
They don't.
are
They
happy,
don't
happy.
celebrate those.
They don't. Some people do. Some people do, and I can understand it. But we want to let people know that we're thinking about them. And Ask Elaine is a program where we want you to know that we're with you. And
Sister Bernice Carden, when is the
I,
going
I
home
have
service?
not heard when that is taking place, but I know um, um,
Mitchell?
Miss Mitchum's service was, I believe, Saturday, this past Saturday. And I did not know when it was, or I would have tried to get there. There was a wonderful prayer breakfast out at Lundy Chapel on Saturday morning. And the minister who brought the message, oh, he was something else. He was something else. And he was inspiring. So we were in attendance there, Reverend Corbett's
Mm-hmm.
church. And Dabs with Dabs Cafe, she's head of the Ushers Union, and she was the one who put that together. And you'll like this, Herbert. The food was delicious.
Somebody
It
should
was
have
a
told me.
wonderful breakfast.
Somebody should have told me.
Dabs was the caterer, and so it was wonderful. My son Leonard, Traveler Lucas Senior, is on board. Good evening to you. Thank you for tuning in. I've been looking for my sister Nita, who probably is joining us by on AM or FM. But we want to welcome all of you. Welcome all of you. On yesterday evening, Macon Bibbs government declared February Black History Month. Usually I did that when I was serving as a member of the commission. And then in March, we declared it Women's History Month. And then we did Hispanic and all of that. And I certainly was really happy to stand with the other Macon citizens last evening as they proclaimed February. It's already Black History Month. Um, and so it was declared such in in Macon Bibb. So we were happy with that. If you want to see a replay of the Macon Bibb Commission committee meetings and also the full commission meeting, then you can just go to Macon Bibb County, the Facebook page, and you can see it's recorded there. Also, if you want to view the recorded Macon Water Authority meeting, go to Macon Water Authority, their Facebook page, and you can see the meetings and replay them and post comments and all of that. And all that's really, really great that you can preview these. All of the different governmental entities need to tape or broadcast their meetings so that if you can't make the meeting, you can view it from home or you can replay it and know what how your money is being spent. Barry has joined us. Good afternoon to you and welcome to everybody. This is your voice, Commissioner and Water Board member Elaine Lucas, welcoming you to the show. It's just great to have you there. And we want to thank these wonderful people here at WDDO for being the ones that have carried this program for a number of years. And we do appreciate historic WDDO, and they've been there at some of the meetings. They were in attendance at the last water board meeting. And by the way, if you haven't decided which one of these boards or authorities you want to attend, you want to go to the meeting and see what's going on in person, you need to make that decision and stop just sitting around fussing about stuff. Go see what's going on. Go see when they try to raise your fares on the Macon Transit. Go see when they're trying as hard as they can to raise your water rates. Most of you have had a water bill that has doubled or tripled. So, good afternoon, Patrick Davis. He's our statistics man. And so we're glad to have him with us today. Our guest, Herbert Denard, served for a number of years, and he told me today 17 years as a member of the Macon Water Authority. Tell us what the Water Authority was like during the time that you served, and then we're going to tell you how it is now.
At that time, we was probably the most powerful body like that. We had Albert Billingsley on there. You had Booker Chambers at one time, and he was
Mm-hmm.
replaced by Davis Lucas. You had Willie Hill was on there at one time. We had a collection. We was the majority
Mm-hmm.
of people on there, and I think they realized it then, and now they changed it around where there's only two African Americans on there.
Right. Out of 50, what are we, 50, 60% of the population?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But they set it up different. The mayor has he appoints two people on there, and there's usually been a split. They at least put one white and one black, but now they put two whites. That kind of changed the balance some,
Right.
and so it's a different board.
So out of 7 members who are serving on the water board, there are 2 black members.
Right.
Out of an overwhelming black population in this community. That is not right. Senator Lucas is introducing, he's already run the advertising, and he will be introducing legislation. Hopefully, he'll get the support of the local delegation to redraw the lines of the Water Authority. Do you know that we represent almost 40,000 people each of us serving on the Water Authority? We represent almost 40,000 folks. The folks serving on the commission, there are 9 of them. They represent maybe what, 10,000, 10,000 people each. The Water Authority over the years has gained strength and power and financial independence. They take care of a lot of business and handle a lot of functions. They are one of those agencies that, when industry decides where they're going to locate, now I'm going to tell you this: they have it together as far as providing you enough clean water.
Mhm.
You don't have to worry about that. After the flood of 1994, they went up to Jones County and bought that property up there. And it's the highest point in this area, isn't it? So we'll never have to worry about that kind of flooding again, or our water supply being um, in danger. So that's wonderful. And there are Macon Water Authority treatment areas all around this community. If you are riding around and you look up in the sky from time to time and you see that big MWA in blue, you'll start to notice just how widespread the Macon Water Authority is. And it's all intended to make sure that you have plenty of water when you need it, and that your water, as a matter of fact, we win this contest for the best tasting water. So Macon's water was voted as the best tasting water. And over the next several years, we're going to try and get some tours set up, because it's a fascinating process to see how your water goes from dirty, dirty, dirty to water that you can drink again and use for bathing or whatever. It's a tremendous process. However, tell us about a little bit more about the Water Authority when you served, Herbert.
Back before then, we had a member on the board, not a member. He was the executive director. Albert Billings and I was asking him questions about how things operated. Our first or second, maybe third meeting, and the guy told us that he would not answer our questions. And I say, why not? He said, I don't have to. And we kept asking. I kept asking him, and what he basically said that he didn't answer the black folks. They actually said it in a meeting.
What?
I stood up. Frank Amerson said, "We're going into executive session." We went into executive session, and told the man, we told the man he had to resign.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to take it back. He wanted to change. He wanted to do all these things. But at that time, he had been there so long that he just didn't believe he had to answer the black folks.
Well,
They had all those 64, 65 Voting Rights Act had been passed and everything equally. You couldn't do certain things, but black folks at that time had separate restrooms.
mm-hmm.
They didn't have the name on it or anything. That black folks went a certain way and white folks went over there.
Yeah.
And they just knew that's where they supposed to go. We changed all of that and a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, but the board members, Albert Billingsley, Booker Chambers, myself, we had the majority. We had one white person there that was on our side and voted with us all the time. So we had the majority. It was a 4-3 board, so we could change a lot of things. And we appointed and we hired a lot of black people to bring it. Because at that time, there wasn't a black person that was a manager or had a managerial position at that particular time. But it's sad that through all of that, and we come back today, and you don't have.
It's depressing to go in there and to see. Do you know that at the last meeting, the chair, Gary Bechtel, chair of the water board, sat there, and we were about to go into committee meetings. And Gary Bechtel said, well, we think that if you're not on this particular committee, you should basically move out of your seat and let the folks who are on the committee. Now, there was nothing said about if there are seats available or anything like that. So I was looking around because I knew they weren't talking to me. I wasn't about to move. And Desmond Brown looked around like, y'all must be crazy down here. But they actually wanted us to get up out of our seats, whether there were enough seats for the others or not. Whether that, that wasn't the issue. The issue was, we're going to make them get up and move out of their seats, so we only have the committee members sitting there. And I kept on doing what I was doing because I knew they were not talking to me. But how dare you do that? There were a bunch of people there, and we are so happy that we've got a lot of citizens who are showing up at these meetings, um, and they're seeing the antiquated systems that are in place. Now, one committee chair has said that during his meetings that he will only call on those people who serve on that committee. Well, we all vote on every issue. And if I take my time and I go to this committee meeting that I'm not serving on because I want to know what the details are of that particular issue, and I have a question, I'm going to ask my question. And I should not have to wait until the full water board meeting to ask my question, because at that time, the question should be asked at the time that the information is being shared. Why would you wait? That's ridiculous. But what it's showing is there is an attempt to silence the Black members of the Macon Water Authority. And you should be very, very upset, because when they raise your water rates, as they did in January, and are planning to do some more, when they raise your water rates, you really ought to be attuned to what's going on, because they're not going to give you a discount because you're not represented at the table. They're going to impose these rate increases on every single one of you, Black, white, rich, poor, whatever. So I would suggest that those of you who are concerned join Shakita Maxwell, join Gwen Westbrooks, join Greg Turner, join Robin Jones, join Vertiz Rozier, Apostle, join Bishop Don H. Scott, join those and the others at the Macon Water Authority meeting. The meetings are held on the first Thursday of each month. So whatever the first Thursday in March is, at 2 p.m. That's another thing, Herbert. They meet once a month when we should be meeting twice a month. We start the meetings at 2 p.m. when a lot of folks are working. Last I heard, most folks work on through 2 o'clock. All right. So committee meetings meet one after the other. And then when the committee meetings are over, then you start the Macon Water Authority meeting. Gwen Westbrooks and some others came and voiced concern about that. And at the last meeting, we did change that. I wanted the meeting to start at 5, when you had more of a chance for people to get off work and to get there. But they held fast and said 4 o'clock. Now, if you start your committees at 2 and you have a lengthy discussion and you have 2 committees or 3 committees, then your business is not going to be finished by 4 o'clock for you to go right on into the water authority meeting. So there's a lot of changes that need to be made there. It is ridiculous that the people, you can only speak at the water authority meeting, the main meeting, and that's after all the committees have met.
Hmm.
And so it sounds like kind of a little Trump dumb, or what do you think, Herbert?
I think that a lot of changes. It wasn't that way when I served, but America's changing.
Yeah,
Uh, President Trump is doing things that's
you
never been.
speaking to that mic,
Uh,
or
President Trump is doing things that's never been done before.
mhm.
He's putting people out of the country, and Hispanics that he say was in here illegal, and he is the criminal. He's convicted of rape,
That's
stealing,
right.
all kind of things,
Yeah,
and somehow uh, I put it this way: white people look over that. The majority. That's I don't. I'm getting all mixed up because what I really want to say, I don't think he won the election, but they stole it. That's what I
yeah,
believe. I believe they stole it. People wasn't coming to his rallies like they had before. Everything was going on. Now, all of a sudden, he, everything that happened, he win this victory where he got more votes
uh-huh.
and won in the electoral college. But I can't prove it. I can't say it. But everything looks suspicious.
It is suspicious to me
And he
too.
lost
And
in.
those assassination attempts, I don't believe it. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I swear
I believe
that
it's
looks like one to me. I you know,
but either way, he is. He love. He hate all of our, not all of them, but most of them. Our people that support us. He's like Canada, Mexico, all these other countries, NATO members of NATO.
mhm.
He's talking about trying to break all of that up, and all the people that's really our enemies, like Russia, China,
Yeah.
Korea, and all. He got love affairs with.
Yeah. You believe that Putin is going to come to the United States and meet with the president of the United States? That is a slap in the face to all folks who have grown up being taught that Russia is a dictatorship. They're our enemies. They're trying to take over our country, and they would bomb us right on out of existence if they could. Uh,
Something about that whole thing. The countries that we've been supporting, uh, he's against. Uh, you know, I haven't seen anything about it. And people like Russia, China, North Korea,
Saudi Arabia.
he he
Mhm.
he loves those countries, and like he's trying to give the store away to them.
Right. Right. He's selling
And
it.
then he bring in the guy that's the richest man in the world. They got him
Elon
going into
Musk.
our Social Security, going into all
Right.
kind of data that he's not
Right.
allowed to go into.
Right.
And when the courts rule against him, he keeps doing what he want to do.
Right. That is scary. That is
It's
scary. But I predict that when the right folks have their information accessed, when the right folks end up not getting that check that you depend on, when the right folks end up having that handicapped child that gets assistance for special programs, when that child has some problems getting the financial assistance that they rightfully deserve and need, when education is no longer available as it should be, then I think people are going to wake up. But I think it's going to take them messing with Social Security or the ISS checks, direct checks to folks, what would you do if you didn't get that Social Security check, Herbert?
Well, I really don't get one. I get the railroad retirement. but
What would happen if you didn't get your railroad retirement?
I would be very upset. And
Well, that's what a lot of other
a
people
lot
are
of us
going to be.
live from paycheck to paycheck,
Most people do.
and we will be in bad shape. But he is cutting out things. He is like all these, like University of Alabama.
Uh-huh.
Uh, they they have some medical things that they are trying to find a cure for,
Mm-hmm.
and they got this all over the country, and they got this money
Yeah.
that they investing in trying to find a cure for cancer, trying to find. He's cutting all of that out.
Right.
Not just in Alabama, but all over.
All
but I
over the
say Alabama
country.
because that's one of his places in Alabama that really Trump supporters really love.
Right.
But he's cutting all of
Right.
that out. I'd like somebody in the audience to call in.
Yeah, we
give us an
we are encouraging people, call in. Let us know what your feeling is. Do you have a relative that works for the federal government? Have they been impacted by this Doge, DOGE, Elon Musk? Can you imagine him having access to your personal information and you don't know whether he has it or not? You really don't know. And the courts are going back and forth. One day they'll rule in favor of the people, and then another time it seems like they're ruling in favor of Trump. It's ridiculous. Nita says work needs to be done. She says a lot of these things are ridiculous. Patricia Booz, good afternoon to you. And also, Patrick David says Republicans control elected government in Macon Bibb. Republicans are in the majority on the Macon Commission. Republicans are in the majority on the Water Board. Even though we say that it's nonpartisan, you know who's Republican and who's Democrat. You know. On the school board, what's the makeup of the school board?
I think it's a majority. I don't know about Republicans. I'll tell you what Al Billings told me a long time ago. He said all white folks are Republicans.
When you're talking about white privilege, yes, yeah.
But we have issues, and black folks have real issues.
Yeah.
I was in the jail today, visiting the jail, and they had all the women. We visit women one week and men another week. All of the number of women that's in jail.
Yeah. And they're more and more, the numbers are growing.
And most of them are black.
Mm-hmm.
All of the men in jail, when I say most, I mean like 80, 90%.
Mm-hmm.
Something is going on there.
Well, whites don't get to jail. They don't get to that point because there are diversion programs all along the way that they take advantage of. And rich folks don't like Trump. Trump is the example of how you skirt or buy your way out of accountability, out of doing the time for the crime.
Well,
Poor folks, black or white, end up in jail.
There's a lot of poor white folks in Macon. But when I go to jail, I'm telling you, about 80% of the people in jail are black folk.
Oh, I know.
I mean, poor folks, there's very few white folks in jail. I'm telling you, you can get the stats and bring it out. Black folks are in jail now. I believe we commit crimes, and I believe white folks commit crimes, but I don't.
They do.
But
They
I don't
do.
think we are at that point that we have that many black folk in jail.
No, and we get jailed for stuff that other folks get taken home. I had a white guy to tell me, we were having an honest conversation about the disparity in law enforcement, and he was saying, well, I was driving one night and I'd had too much to drink. The police pulled me over and they chastised me and told me, now you go on home. He was just as drunk as he could be. And they told him, now you be careful and you go on home.
Right.
White guy. Black folks get taken to jail.
But right now, even in the killings that going on,
Yeah.
one year we had 80 people killed during the year. 70, about 71 or 72 was black. Why do black folks kill each other? Why is that? That black folks, I've been on this a while, but
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but it's the number. I mean, this you can't fix this sometimes.
Right. Right.
I gave an example today at the jail, and you might kick in, or anybody else might kick in. I asked the women, what happens if you go home, when you're going home from work, and you walk in the door and you catch your spouse in the bed with somebody else? What do you do? What do you do, Elaine? No, you don't have, but my
I'm
point
like
is,
Medea before or after the click.
let me tell you what happened. The women, one by one, stood up and said, I have to kill him.
Mm, mm,
They went out in the whole, they kept saying, kill him, kill him, kill him. I reminded them about Shawshank Redemption.
mm.
If you kill him, you go to jail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometime 20 years, 30 years, whatever. Do you really want to go to jail from that for that period of time because you killed your spouse? You say, well, I got him, but time is something you can't take back.
Right.
If you
That's
go
right.
to jail, you know, that 20 years or 15 years or whatever it is, uh, you can't get it back.
Right, right. Look, y'all, we are open for folks to call in. The call in number is 478-250-1444. If you want to call us, if you want to give us your opinion on any of the topics that we're talking about, I want to hear what you have to say. Herbert and I both want to hear why you think it is that we attack each other so much. Why is that? Is it education? Is it upbringing? What is it that causes that? And then I want to hear why hear you talk about what we can do to turn this thing around. Because nobody's going to survive if we continue the way that we are. And we've got an election coming up March 18th on the SPLOST. And I'm wondering how many people, first of all, know about it, and then how many are going to go vote. How many already have a plan where you're saying, I am definitely going to vote. I vote every time. I'm going to vote early, make sure that my voice is heard. Patrick is saying we have a majority white school board. We do. We do. And work does need to be done. 478-250-1444. You've tuned in to, it's Wednesday. You've tuned in to Ask Elaine. This is your voice, Elaine Lucas, along with my co-host, Mr. Herbert Denard. And we are here today to listen to you. We're talking about voting. We're talking about a lot of different topics, and we want to hear from you. In a minute, I want to mention to you some proposed legislation that some of our local delegation is members are proposing to be voted on, discussed, and voted on in Atlanta.
But on what Patrick said, it seems like Patrick is on the case.
Yeah.
But if you go to any of the high schools elementary schools, you have an overwhelming majority of the people in the public school system in Bibb County are black.
I
I
think
don't
it's
mean
like over 80%.
80%, and then you
80%.
have a minority that's on the school board.
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't make sense, does it? We have a phone caller. Welcome to Ask Elaine.
Yes, hello.
Hello. Welcome
Yeah,
to
this is
Ask
Teresa
Elaine.
Hill.
This is who?
Teresa Hill.
Teresa, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
That's
Uh,
great.
Hi, Miss Elaine, and hi, Mr. Denard.
Hello.
Hey,
Teresa Hill.
all right. What are your thoughts on our
Um,
topics for
my
today?
thoughts on the question that you said was you was asking why do we act so quickly, want to harm each other or cut
Yeah,
each other down? I think the biggest one has to do with pride, how we're going to be looked at.
I think
I
you.
think that's the biggest um, thing that people look at like just automatically.
mm,
They want to cut somebody down because they feel bad about how somebody made them be treated or made them feel.
That could
Herbert.
that could be it, but I think that's it. But I'm gonna throw something else in it, and I do it all the time. Black folks call each other the N word. Uh, Polish people from Poland don't call each other Polacks. Italians don't call each other. The slur for them is "wop." Mexicans don't call each other spits.
Jewish.
The Jewish don't call it. What's the term for Jewish people?
Oh, I don't know,
The
but I
Jewish
know there's a derogatory
it-
term for.
they don't call each other that, but we call each other that. And some of our great comedians make jokes about it.
Oh yeah, they
And
do.
the Richard Pryor sold, I don't know how many records using that all the time. Somehow that is a derogatory word. If you want to put a A on the end of it, say nigga, it still is not good for
Mm,
us.
mm,
We got to love each other. I talked to some guys the other day about getting married because we have the lowest rate of marriages than anybody. And I talking to young black men, and the black men said, "No, I ain't gonna marry nobody. Why am I gonna marry somebody?"
yeah, yeah.
So and then people come home and the children come home to one person in the house raising the family, young woman raising the kids, and the man, a lot of them don't marry nobody.
Hmm.
I think a lot of the combinations of all of those things and cause us to kind of almost hate each other.
Yeah, the remnants of slavery really are pervasive in our community. We can't get away from it because the system is set up to show us in certain ways. And if that's all you see, then that's what you adopt. We've adopted, that we got to have the latest fad and stuff rather than we got to get educated. All of those kinds of things. Patrick shared with us that the school system is 80% Black, 90% non-white Bib student population. And he's asking who is on that steering committee that wants to consider consolidating Black public schools. I don't remember the names of the people who are on that steering committee. Um, I, I won't call any names because if I'm wrong, I will have put wrong information out there. But the schools, to me, if you're talking about closing schools, you're talking about packing children into larger schools with, and that's shown that decreases the access to learning. As a matter of fact, it has totally negative impacts, and so um, I just am very concerned about that. Um, Ms. Hill says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. I want to be informed. That's why she follows us. And we follow you and we thank you. You're very, very active with your neighborhood association and you get the information to the folks that you are representing. Donis Bryant Cato, who is one of our new commissioners representing District 8. She is on the line with us. Um, and someone made the comment that very few people know about the SPLOST. And so I believe what we need to do is to get someone who's working with the SPLOST. There is a SPLOST committee that's been set up. And I think Virgil Adams, attorney Virgil Adams is on it. Theranossery is a part of it. And then there are two other people who are a part of it. And so what we'll do is try and get them to come on or some representatives to come on to talk about the SPLOST and why you should support it. And you can certainly ask questions. Ms. Hill, are you still there? I think she's gone, but we want to thank her. She's very, very active. She's the president of the Neighborhood Association, Thornton Heights and Swift Creek. And we appreciate all the work that she does. It's hard work getting people to come and get information that's helpful to them.
Well,
Herb.
I'll say this. My father served in World War II. And a lot of black folks served World War II. And President Franklin Delano Roosevelt decided that we need to have a GI Bill that could benefit all the people when they get out. And when they tried to pass that bill, the people in government, like Talmadges and the Russells and all of those people, would not vote for it if they were going to give black folks money.
Yeah.
So Franklin Roosevelt changed the bill to their liking. Everybody could get it, black folks. I mean, I'm not joking. This is facts. They served in the same damn war.
Yeah.
But they could not get the GI Bill.
Yeah.
Later on, Truman going out passed it, and they got it. But when my father got out, he could not get the bill. He could not buy a house using GI benefits. He could not do it. White folks could. And that's why a lot of us veterans coming home started out at one position. They couldn't do the thing. That money was not available. I believe they supposed to give us money for now for what they messed us up way back then.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when white Europeans came over here, they went to, they gave them money, land rents, when they went to other places outside of here, outside of New York and down south. They gave them money to go there and get, to help develop like Montana and all the places. They gave them real money.
Because they came and exerted their power in their numbers.
They gave money in their whiteness.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. It makes a difference because who is Trump opening the borders to?
He wants South Africans to come in.
He wants South Africans who were proponents of apartheid. He wanted them to come, but the black South Africans, they were not included in those folks that.
And the person that pushing it is Musk.
Elon Musk.
From South Africa.
From South Africa. He is mad because there's a law that was passed in South Africa that gave the land back to the black folks that owned the land prior to apartheid. And white folks are having to give up, including Musk and his folks, are having to give up land that they stole, that they took from black folks. That is one of the reasons that Musk is doing some of the things that he's doing. But They better stop him before he does irreparable damage to this country and Trump as well.
I agree.
And I say they, but it's all of us. Us.
But all of the Republicans are letting incompetent people become
Yeah. Yeah.
secretaries of defense and all the other education secretaries.
Yeah. They are incompetent. You've got a woman who's in charge of wrestling, a wrestling company that oversees a lot of the wrestling that goes. She is going to be on the cabinet over the Department of Education.
They're trying to get rid of the Department of Education too.
And you got RFK who can't even talk, and he's being confirmed to be over health and human services, and he's the one who said he had a worm to die up in his head. And what happened with the worm? He had a worm to crawl in his head and die or something. You're right. That brain is not functioning. He's anti-vaccine, and we've got a measles outbreak going on.
Something is going on here that haven't happened before in this country. You got some real incompetent people. You got people that took money from Russia, cut commercials for Russia, and they are getting money, and the Republicans will not vote for them because Elon Musk say, if you have opposition, we're gonna make sure you have opposition, right, and we're gonna put so many millions in their campaign if you vote against Trump. Yeah. So they know it's crazy, but they want to keep their job.
You know what? I tell you. Dennis, Commissioner Bryant says the District 8 Town Hall meeting is tomorrow, Thursday, 5555 Bethesda Avenue, Community Church of God. Y'all need to be there. Patrick, Department of Education gives schools until February 28th to eliminate race-based programs. And they fired the folks that are in charge of nuclear stuff for the country. And then they had to they said, we need them. So they went back to try and find them. They had cut them off from contact. So they were begging them, y'all, please call us back because we want to rehire you. What kind of junk is that? What kind of America is this? We need to, next week, we're going to talk about some of these things, SPLOST, but we're also going to talk about some of the legislation. I'm sorry I didn't get to the legislation that our local legislators are proposing or introducing, but we'll get to it. Herbert?
I'm going to be speaking for Black History at
at Ocmulgee.
Ocmulgee Baptist Church this Sunday at
11 o'clock. We're going to try and get there. Y'all, thank you so much for tuning in to Ask Elaine. We'll see you again next Wednesday for another edition of Ask Elaine. Thank you.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB.